Coming into the NBA season, we had a general idea of the teams that would be competing for a title next June. And while some of those teams have lost that contender status, and others have a TBD status after slow starts, a new team has emerged through the first weeks of the season and clearly cemented themselves as one of the best in the NBA, that team being the Cleveland Cavaliers. But to tell you how Cleveland became true contenders this season, I have to take you back to May 15th, where the Cavaliers lost in 5 games to the Boston Celtics in the second round of the NBA playoffs. This was the end of year 2 with Donovan Mitchell, and while the talent was undeniable, the results, specifically in the playoffs, just weren't there. In 2 years, the Cavs only won 1 playoff series, that being against the young Orlando Magic in 7 games. And while head coach JB Bickerstaff completely overperformed expectations, considering he was hired as an interim head coach in 2020, his coaching style was just not what the team needed anymore. Gone were the days of rebuilding and establishing a culture, which is exactly what Bickerstaff did. Now the team needed a coach who could elevate them from good to great, and the Cavaliers front office did just that, hiring former Brooklyn Nets head coach and then Golden State Warriors assistant head coach Kenny Atkinson. Many saw this move as an upgrade, as Atkinson's experience sitting behind a championship level coach in Steve Kerr made him one of the most sought after coaches in the league, and what he's done for this roster in just a couple of weeks into the season has been astounding. So much so that the Cavaliers aren't just winning games, they're dominating opposing teams in every aspect of the game. In 6 of their 13 victories this season, the Cavaliers have won by double digits, and in 10 of their 13 victories, the Cavaliers have shot 38% or better from 3. And the key to their superb shooting starts with the drive and kick. The Cavaliers' 10th win of the season came in a dominant performance against the Golden State Warriors, where the Cavs won 136-117 and made 20 of their 42 attempted threes. 15 of those 20 made threes were from catch-and-shoot opportunities, and they shot 48.4% on those attempts. Those numbers aren't something to sneeze at, as no team this season has shot greater than 35.2% from 3 overall and 43% from catch-and-shoot attempts against the Warriors. But what stood out to me were Draymond Green's comments after the game. Green, who is one of the most important pieces of the Warriors' 10-year dynasty, said this about the Cavaliers, quote, "They're so intentional about the extra pass, and that is a staple for us. The drive, kick, swing is what we've preached for years, and they diced us up with it. I was telling Steph, like in the 4th quarter, I feel like they just beat us with what we've beat teams with for years." High praise from the former champ, and a great point too. Atkinson's time with the Warriors clearly helped develop him into one of the best offensive minds in the league, and that impact is rubbing off onto how the Cavaliers play on the court. This year, the Cavaliers are second in passes out of a drive with 26 a game, and average the most assists out of a drive with over 8 a game, almost 2 more than the second place Grizzlies. And because of their ability to drive in the paint and kick out to the open shooter, the Cavaliers are thriving behind the arc on catch and shoot opportunities, shooting 45.4% on those opportunities compared to last season, where they shot 38.3% on catch and shoot threes. These improvements have allowed the Cavs to play a more natural and free style of basketball, and because of this, you're seeing the Cavaliers' star players sacrifice counting stats for open looks, while empowering each player to go beyond what their traditional role may be. The biggest benefactor of this is Evan Mobley. Mobley, a former top 3 pick, had an impressive rookie season, but has remained stagnant on the offensive side of the ball for the past 3 seasons. Mobley felt uncomfortable with the ball in his hands, and was overall below average jump shooter. Because of this, many were concerned with the future of the Mobley and Allen frontcourt, as neither guy could space the floor or create much impact offensively outside of the paint. But Kenny Atkinson realized this and decided to take a chance on Mobley. Before the season, Atkinson told Cavaliers reporter Chris Fedor that Mobley's evolution, quote, starts with usage. And Atkinson backed up his talk by increasing Mobley's usage this season by more than 4% and allowing Mobley to shoot almost 1/4 of the team's total shot attempts per game. As a result, we're seeing a new side of Mobley that many thought never existed. Sure, the shot isn't fully developed yet, but we're now seeing Mobley shoot with confidence. We're seeing Mobley make 37% of his shots unassisted compared to last season's 26.5%. We're even starting to see Mobley bring the ball up the court and facilitate. Atkinson's confidence in Mobley has led to the Cavaliers' offense drastically improving, going from the 20th most points per game on average last season to comfortably first this season. Here's what Dean Wade had to say about Mobley's offensive game earlier this season. Quote, "The way he's playing is much much more aggressive. He's not ever second guessing himself. He's downhill making plays, and we really feed off it, especially when he's being that aggressive. It opens up everything for everyone else. What Dean Wade is saying is translating when you watch back the footage. Installing Mobley with confidence and allowing him to create for himself and for others has been one of the biggest reasons why the Cavaliers are 13-0 to start the season. Another big reason why the Cavaliers are rolling this season is Darius Garland. The former All-Star has always shown flashes of being one of the best point guards in the league, but after a rough 2023 season where Garland had the lowest shooting percentages of his career since his rookie season, some expected the Cavs to trade Garland and find a different solution at the guard position next to Donovan Mitchell. But the Cavs held strong and kept Garland, and that decision has paid off tenfold, as Garland has cemented himself as an All-Star candidate once again while shooting the lights out. This season, Garland is shooting 47.5% from 3 on 7.3 attempts per game, and 60.5% from 2 on 6.9 attempts per game. That last part is honestly a revelation, and the reason why Garland has performed so well this season. Through 13 games, Garland is shooting 68% on shots within 8 feet of the basket compared to last season, where he shot 49.8%. His ability to drive to the basket and score so efficiently is causing opposing defenders to pay more attention as he drives, leaving guys open in the dunker spot or at the three-point line. Or, if they sag off and watch his passes, he drives in the paint and he gets an easy 2 points. The efficiency from 2 was something lacking from his game, and now that it's here, Garland's offensive game has upgraded to a whole new level. Another reason to rave about Garland's season is his clutch stats. In 5 clutch situations this season, Garland on average attempts the most shots during that time frame on the team, and he's been hyper efficient, scoring on 78.6% of his shots. His clutchness has led the Cavaliers to 3 wins within 5 points in the last 8 games, and if he can keep this up, he will be a shoo-in for Clutch Player of the Year. Unlocking Garland and Mobley's offensive game was something we all wanted to see for the past 3 years. In this season, with both guys looking more confident and poised on that side of the ball, the sky's the limit for the Cavaliers, and they've already leapfrogged veteran-led teams to become one of the biggest threats to win the NBA title. But their postseason success will ultimately rely on one guy, that being Donovan Mitchell. If you were just to look at the baseline stats, you'd think Mitchell has regressed. His points, rebounds, and assists have fallen by almost 3 per game, all while his usage rate has actually increased compared to last season. But those numbers don't tell the full story. This season, we're seeing a big change in mentality and leadership that wasn't fully apparent last season. As crazy as it sounds, this is Donovan Mitchell's 8th season in the NBA. He's the veteran to most guys in that locker room, and his job has been to instill confidence and define expectations for this team, and he's been doing that perfectly to start the season. After their first 3 games against the Pistons, Raptors, and Wizards, Mitchell gave a message to his Cavaliers teammates saying, quote, "We took care of business. We did what we're supposed to do for 3 games. But now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, which were games against the Knicks, Lakers, Magic, and Bucks, that's where we're going to see what we're made of as a group, and if our habits continue through with tougher opponents and tougher games." That's what you like to hear from your number 1 option. Sure, we can execute against the bottom tier teams, but how are we going to play against the top dogs? How will our game plan translate when we're playing against the best players in the league? As you know, the Cavaliers won all 4 of those games and 6 more after that, and are riding a 13-game winning streak to start the season. That winning streak is now the 6th longest to start a season in NBA history, and they're now just 2 more wins away from tying the record to holding the 2nd longest winning streak to start a season. In total, there are 6 teams, including the Cavaliers, who have won 13 or more games in a row at the start of the season. Of the previous 5 teams who did that, 4 of them made it to the NBA Finals, and 1 won it all. It's obviously way too early to be thinking about the playoffs, considering all teams have at least 70 games left to play. But with a start like this, you have to wonder whether the Cavaliers could make a deep playoff run. If you look at their roster, they have all the things you would look for in a championship team. A star backcourt duo who can score and play make, a defensive-minded frontcourt who can lock down the paint and, in Mobley's case, take the reins offensively if needed, a very solid bench unit that can hold it down while the starters take a breather, and a head coach with a championship pedigree who has established a culture that complements the star players. There's only 2 teams right now that can compete with the Cavaliers in a playoff series, that being the Celtics and the Thunder. But right now, with Porzingis out for at least another couple of weeks, and the Thunder lacking a true center with Chet and Hartenstein out, I don't think it's crazy to say that the Cavaliers are the best team in all of basketball, and they should be treated seriously as a threat in May and June. But what do you think? Comment down below your thoughts on this Cavaliers team so far through the season, and whether you think they could win the NBA title. And don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, as we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So with that, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.